Inheritance tax. Again, we have a guide about inheritance tax, so we don't want to deal with this in any detail here, but you've already said that the way that the inheritance tax system works varies depending on where the person who died was living, and that there are in effect 17 different systems within Spain, which are quite dramatically different, aren't they? I mean, they're not even close.
There could be in some regions, if your parents were resident in a region in Spain, you could be lucky to inherit a lot of assets and will be zero.
Yes.
And in some other cases, depending on your parents were resident, you could have a very, very high tax bill.
Yes. But I guess the key thing to understand about inheritance tax is that whether you've managed to liquidate the assets or not, you have to pay it within 6 months.
Yeah.
And if you don't, there are penalties.
Of course.
And so that very often means, especially in the bad years, a couple of years ago, people would inherit a house from their parents. They couldn't sell it. They then had to pay the tax on it, which meant they had to borrow to pay the tax.
Yeah, it could become a very stressful process because the time is passing, especially if your parents didn't do any will. Then we have to wait. We can do nothing but waiting until the process at the country is finished.
Yes.
Then you have taxes. The 6 months are passed already, and then you have to do some declarations to avoid penalties and fines. You will have to face anyway a 20% fine and the legal interest. If you did a declaration saying, listen, it's 6 months' time, I know, but I couldn't really do yet my taxes, it's inevitable to pay a fine, it's inevitable to pay the legal interest, but at least you avoid having to pay the fine for not declaring what you should on time.
Yes.
So it's quite a stressful process because you can do nothing but waiting. And and this is something that it could perfectly be avoided.
Now, whilst we're talking about inheritance tax, it's also worth pointing out, isn't it, that, okay, here you are in Spain, there is a house in Spain that you've just inherited, your parents are resident, shall we say, in Marbella, so you would have to pay some tax on that inheritance, but you may also have taxes to pay in the country where you live, depending on your own legal system.
Depending on your own legal system, yes.
And so, if you're in this situation, you really need to get advice from both the local Spanish lawyer who's dealing with this, but also you need to mention it to your own local, your own national lawyer or accountant.
Essential.
And sometimes the two lawyers or accountants will have to talk to each other.
We normally speak in between both lawyers.
Yes. Yeah. When someone dies and there's an inheritance, there are probably some other things that the person who have inherited the estate may want to do. I suppose one of them would be to make a will themselves, so that there are no problems when they die. And I guess very often they will want to think in terms of selling the properties and so on. Is it common for you to take power of attorney from the heirs so that they can go back to America and you can just get on and sell the assets and sell the house and sell the other assets for them?
Yeah, it happens. It happens that we have a power of attorney because it's very common to have a power of attorney with no limitation, with no time limit. And therefore, that person that we've been helping the family to organize and declare everything about inheritance, that they are like new owners of the property, granting a new power of attorney for us to take care of it. Normally, what they do is that before they go, they put the property for sale with different agencies, or sometimes they leave to our discretion to do it. But the normal way would be them to approach different agencies and to inform. We have listed our property with A, B, C, D, and therefore, if you have, if they need a key or they need something, please, and they are in contact with the agency in case that they have an offer, and we will be acting on their behalf in case that these properties sold.
Yes. Miguel, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
If you need any more information, Miguel and his firm will be delighted to help you. Please have a look at our written guides, in-depth written guides about how to deal with an inheritance in Spain and how to make wills in Spain. Look at the other videos we've made. If you have enjoyed this video, please like it or follow us. And whether you do that or not, we look forward to seeing you when you come back next time. Thank you and goodbye.